Hello everyone, Simon Bard here, and welcome to a new movie review. Well, we're nearing the month of December, and with stores selling Christmas items since October, radio stations playing Christmas music in early or mid-November, and Christmas movies coming throughout November, I think it is best to go for a holiday flick to get in the mood. And that, of course, is a Christmas horror movie. Yeah, it's odd to go over something such as this. Two completely different genres of film combined to make a horror subgenre, yet is more of a Christmas film. Yet it's such an interesting concept where comedy becomes necessary to lighten the mood, or it becomes part of the genre, and the stories become ridiculous or a repeat of each other, sometimes done twice. In fact, note to self, do a compare and contrast of Black Christmas someday. But either way, the genre itself isn't a big selling point for the holiday season, meaning that most of them are either direct-to-video or limited release. And only a handful ever get a big theatrical release. And so, in preparation for Happy Holidays next week, I'm reviewing the latest Christmas horror movie. That is not a limited release, which is, of course, what are you doing? Well, I'm reviewing a Christmas horror movie before December. But what about me? I'm supposed to have a short film to myself, or do something for being close to December. Well, I haven't got anything special planned for you, and I'm running low on ideas for short films. But why are you reviewing a Christmas horror film? It's an abomination to combine two extremely different genres. Horror should be for Halloween, and Christmas should be for family and friends, with that holiday. Well, why don't you go watch Nightmare Before Christmas while I review this? Okay, that's another sin against nature. Why combine two holidays to the point that marketing can't decide when to sell and then just do it for both? Are you done yet? Not until you give me something for the holiday season. Oh, okay. Well, how about a fidget spinner? I'm leaving. The Christmas horror movie I'm reviewing is Krampus, or Krampus as is known in some parts, as well as in the trailer. The movie is based, or centered, on the German Christmas folklore named Krampus, who takes children who have been naughty. A boy named Max begins to hate Christmas due to his parents not doing anything Christmas related with him, his sister only caring about herself, and his aunts, uncle, and cousins making things worse with their insulting, bickering, and complaining. Yet only his grandmother, who mostly spoke German, helped keep the Christmas spirit alive, and is the only adult Max looks up to during the season. But after a family fight, Max rips up his letter to Santa and throws it out. But doing so causes not only a power outage to the whole town by a big snowstorm, but unleashes the shadow of St. Nicholas, Krampus, and his evil elves and toys, who come to the family house to take or attack each member. Unlike other Christmas horror movies, this one's based on the classic folklore, but it also has plenty of comedy as well. The humor of it all is done pretty well, with most of it coming from the family, especially the aunt and uncle, with insults thrown around, complaints getting in the way, and some lack of caring. It's certainly a dysfunctional family and a bit mean-spirited, but that's how it's supposed to be, unlike other dysfunctional family Christmases where the comedy is the main highlight. But some other humorous moments have their own charm, like the opening credits just shows shoppers rushing and trying to buy toys for Christmas, all done in slow motion to the tune of Bing Crosby's It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, or even when Howard gets attacked by gingerbread men. Though certain sound effects like this, and this, do make the film more silly than it needs to be. But this is coming from the same director of Trick or Treat, which I never saw anyway. But the funniest bit in my opinion is the very ending, which made me laugh so hard the first time that it made me enjoy the overall film. I won't say what it is, but all I can say is, this poster pretty much foreshadows it. Though surprisingly, a majority of the effects are practical, and CGI is used very little. For having to come out when CGI are the main effects, it's nice to see a film that mostly uses practical effects, and the ones included are the giant jack-in-the-box, an evil toy robot, a demonic teddy bear, and a creepy-looking angel. But there's also people in costumes such as the elves and of course Krampus himself, who has a nice design, though he could have looked more scary when his face is revealed. And yes, there is CGI used in this film, but only in certain points, like the snow, the incoming storm, Krampus in faraway shots, and the gingerbread men when they're moving. There's even a small stop-motion segment in the middle, where the grandmother talks about her past and of Krampus, which is done very well. and the actors playing the characters did pretty well, even though they're supposed to be unlikable to begin with. MJ Anthony plays Max, Adam Scott plays Tom, Toni Collette plays Sarah, Stefana Levi Owens plays Beth, Krista Stadler plays Omi, Conchata Farrell plays Aunt Dorothy, Allison Tolman plays Linda, David Koechner plays Howard, Maverick Flack plays Howie Jr., Queenie Samuel plays Jordan, Lolo Owen plays Stevie, and Sage Hoonfield plays Baby Chrissy. As a whole, this movie is pretty fun. The characters, while meant to be unlikable, are fine in their own right, the story is pretty well done, and the effects are quite enjoyable. Director Michael Daugherty had done a good holiday film that has a really good balance of horror and comedy, clever elements of A Christmas Carol, The Thing, Night of the Living Dead, and Gremlins, well-made practical and visual effects, and an ending that feels perfect and had me laughing in a good way. It's certainly a wickedly fun movie for the holidays, one that's intense and funny without being too forced, and it's quite an enjoyable one. So today, this movie will get a rating of 3 stars. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, support me on Patreon, and tune next week for the beginning of Happy Holidays. Hello there again. It's time for another movie that I saw in theaters, and it's a good Pixar one too. So, here it is, and I hope you enjoy it. Now let's take a look at the latest film from Pixar Animation. And despite thinking it wouldn't work after seeing Cars 3, I became completely wrong by the end of it. It's Pixar's newest movie that's better than their last film, Coco. The story is about a boy named Miguel, who believes the famous singer, Ernesto de la Cruz, is his great-great-grandfather. But despite his family being shoemakers and find music to be a curse, Miguel feels that music is what began the family, and honors de la Cruz for it. But when he takes de la Cruz's guitar for a music contest during the Day of the Dead, he finds himself literally cursed with it, and ends up in the land of the dead, and meets his past relatives as skeletons, who want to bring him back with his great-great-grandmother's blessing. But Miguel wants de la Cruz to bless him, as he's a musician, and comes across a skeleton named Hector, who wants to visit the land of the living and helps Miguel get to de la Cruz, all while the rest of Miguel's relatives try to find him. Directors Leon Courage and Adrian Mullen has done a really great job of making a movie on the importance of family and cherishing those who have moved on, with good characters, a very nicely told story, nice songs, and wonderful animation. In some ways, the film reminded me of Spirited Away in some of its plot, but having it set during the Day of the Dead, as well as some added elements, make the film stand out as something different. And while a couple of moments didn't work for me, the film's twists and surprises won me over, especially the reveal of Miguel's great-great-grandfather, which shocked me, and its ending, which had me teary-eyed, not since the ending of Inside Out. It's pretty much a wonderful film, and is maybe a contender for being one of my favorite Pixar movies, and I hope to see it again soon. So today I'm giving this movie a rating of 3.5 stars. And that is it. So thank you for joining me, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, support me on Patreon, and tune next week for the start of Happy Holidays. So, take care.